Let's take a look at world and regional geography. So it looks like we got 5 questions here. The difference between absolute and relative location, the 5 major regions of the world. We'll also do the regions of the United States. Land to water ratio on Earth, that's a pretty common one. We want to know that. Longest river in Asia. Suez Canal connects which two seas? Okay, so we'll deal with that and more throughout this video. And at the end, the same list of questions will show up so that you can try to answer them yourself. All right, so we'll start with physical and human geography, knowing what the difference in that is. So physical geography is, of course, about the natural world, such as mountains, seas, rivers, forests, and so on, while human geography relates only to the human environment, something that is built by humans and would not have existed in nature without humans. Features of human geography could really include anything from a house to a city and all the related infrastructure, such as roads, rails, canals, and so on. The Mercator projection, okay? That's a cylindrical map projection presented by the Flemish geographer and cartographer Gerardus Mercator in 1569. It became the standard map projection for nautical purposes because of its ability to represent lines of constant course. Then we want to know also the difference between absolute and relative location. An absolute location is given by exact or absolute coordinates, while a relative location is given relative to other landmarks. The Pacific Ocean is the largest of the world's 5 oceans, followed by the Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, Southern Ocean, and Arctic Ocean. It covers an area of about 60 million square miles. Right, so you'd just like to know those 5 oceans, and that Pacific is the largest. If you know that, you're good to go on the oceans. And then we'll look at regions. So this was one of our questions, right? The 5 major regions of the world. So a region is an area that has one or more significant characteristics that make it stand out from the surrounding areas. The Amazon basin and the Sahara both occupy a significant percentage of their respective continental land areas and are considered regions. The 5 major regions of the world are Africa, Asia, the Americas, Europe, and Oceania. North America is not considered a region, as the Americas include the Caribbean, North America, Central America, and South America. So that's a key point that could very easily show up as a question, right? Is North America a region, right? That would probably be included as an answer choice. Oceania includes Australia, New Zealand, Melanesia, Polynesia, and Micronesia. As far as the U.S. is concerned, the 5 major regions of the United States are West, Midwest, Southwest, Northeast, and Southeast. The West includes Colorado, Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, Washington, Oregon, Utah, Nevada, California, Alaska, and Hawaii. And then a vernacular region. This is a distinctive area where the inhabitants collectively consider themselves interconnected by a shared history, mutual interest, and a common identity. Such regions are intellectual inventions in a form of shorthand to identify things, people, and places. Vernacular regions reflect a sense of place, but rarely coincide with established jurisdictional borders. Okay, what do we need to know about rivers and canals? So we'll have 2 rivers here that we'll focus on, the Yangtze River and the Euphrates River, followed by the Suez Canal. The Yangtze River is the longest river in Asia and the 3rd longest in the world. The river is the longest in the world to flow entirely within one country. It drains 1/5 of the land area of the People's Republic of China. The Three Gorges Dam on the Yangtze River is the largest hydroelectric power station in the world. The Euphrates River is the longest and one of the most historically important rivers of Western Asia. Together with the Tigris, It is one of the two defining rivers of Mesopotamia. And the Suez Canal connects the Mediterranean Sea to the Red Sea through the Isthmus of Suez. The canal allows ships to travel between Europe and South Asia without navigating around Africa, thereby reducing the sea voyage distance by about 4,300 miles. Okay, the Aztecs and the Incas, these are often a part of a question. The Aztecs built terraces on hills that were previously not farmable. The Incas used this idea as well as they had steep mountains that were not ideal for farming. Terraces created more arable land and kept the topsoil from washing away in heavy rains. The Great Pyramid of Giza, it is the oldest and largest of the three pyramids in the Giza Pyramid complex bordering what is now El Giza, Egypt. It is the oldest of the seven wonders of the ancient world and the only one to stay largely intact. Okay, and then a couple last concepts here. Due to simple geometry of the Earth's curvature, a given amount of sunshine in a beam falling on the equator, which points directly at the sun, has a much more intense effect than the glancing rays spread over a much larger area of the curving surface near the poles. The land to water ratio on Earth is about 29% land to 71% water. Again, make sure you have that one in your mind, so you don't need to know exactly 2971. If you're at 70% water, that's probably going to be good enough, but that is a question that shows up very consistently on the exam, knowing that the ratio is 29 land, 71 water. Most of Earth's water, about 96.5%, is saline water contained in the oceans. And then finally, on January 24th, 1848, California's most famous gold rush began. This quickly led to worldwide immigration to California following the discovery of gold. The growth of the state, as well as the city of San Francisco, followed. Okay, so with the California gold rush, do you need to know that it was January 24th, 1848? Probably not. 1848 possibly, but I doubt there would be a question that was asking for the exact date or even the exact year. It might be that you needed to know that it was like in the mid 1800s. But the key points really would be that, the growth of the state as well as the city of San Francisco followed the California gold rush in the 19th century. Okay. And then we jump back to our questions. So as I say in a lot of these videos where we have the questions at the beginning and then at the end, best thing to do, pause the video, see if you can correctly answer these questions. If you struggle with any of them, it is worth going back into the video, making sure you have these answers, because these are the types of questions that are really likely to show up on the exam.